It is kind of overcast on this beautiful Monday, but with Monday brings new beginnings and realizations and just a brand new start. I've been seeing this thing with today being the 4th of May, and May the 4th be with you, and I think that's really cool because, you know, obviously it's a play on words and it's talking about the Force in the Star Wars universe. In 2 days, it'll be the 3-year anniversary of my choice to go sober and stop drinking alcohol. I still drink, I just drink water and Coke Zero and tea and coffee. But anyway, in talking with my good friend Griselle just now, I actually had this really amazing epiphany, because even though I decided to go sober in 2012, I was still not in a good place mentally, because I was still holding on to a lot of resentment in regards to my music career. Things just weren't working out as much as I wanted them to, and so I was saying I had become a yes man to the wrong opportunities rather than being a no man and then waiting for the right opportunities to manifest if I was willing to just sacrifice, which I wasn't for a while. I wanted to just have everything. I wanted to be on the tours that I was on as a castmate of the Spanish Guitar and Nights of Fire, because I just wanted the money. But the thing is, that money went right out the door again anyway. So, and the experiences were somewhat good, but some of them were not great. And it's because of my ego. It's because of my diva attitude, and I don't mean diva like, you know, Whitney Houston or Chaka Khan diva, or I mean like bad diva, like mommy dearest, ugly diva, selfish diva. And, you know, none of that is fair to the people that are there working and trying to earn a living and enjoy life. None of that is fair to the people who are employing you, even if they're douchebags and shitheads and bitches and assholes. You know, it doesn't mean that you can just retaliate. You know, I stayed by choice in a lot of different opportunities and work opportunities because I chose to, because it was my choice. It was not, no one held a gun to my head, and yet I was just becoming more and more bitter, more and more resentful, more and more hateful, judgy, anger, and it was kind of pathetic and an ugly color on me. And this lasted pretty much from, it was about a 2-year period, and considering the fact that I was sober meant that it was actually coming from me. It wasn't coming from some sort of substance addiction or anything like that. It's sad. It's sad because I do feel like I've been given a lot of blessings and opportunities and gifts to work here in God's world, not just as a violinist or performer, but also as a behavior therapist working with dogs, dog walker and dog trainer, working with their owners. So yeah, it's sad, and there's a lot of you in my life now who have seen a lot of those transitions and changes, ups and downs, and, you know, I have to call out a few opportunities in specific because they're opportunities that ultimately I was able to force myself to say no to, because I knew where I was in my life, and I knew that if I held out and waited for God to bring something better, because, see, the thing is, God doesn't give you every opportunity that's financial. Sometimes He gives you a chance to say no, to test you. And I've failed those tests sometimes. Let's go back in time a little bit. So, early last fall, late last summer, I got called to go back to work at a job that I used to have before I went on tour. And I had a lot of loyalty and love for that place and the people that were there, because it was in my life once before as a place of healing and solace and sanctuary. But the thing is, nothing ever stays the same. Everything always changes. And so, you know, when I went back there, I guess I expected it to be the same, and it wasn't. But the thing is, it didn't mean that other people had changed. It meant that I had changed, and that I was trying to make it the same experience that I did before, and it wasn't going to be that. So it naturally deteriorated very quickly. because of my attitude and because I was obviously trying to wear an old pair of shoes that didn't fit anymore. Let's go back in time again to a Latin jazz band that I had been in for about 13 plus years here in Austin. I got a lot of work and notoriety and recognition locally because I was in that band, playing a lot of high-profile events and venues. It wasn't my band. It was a band that's been working here for a very, very long time. The dynamics socially in that band were toxic and negative and abusive, both on stage and off stage. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to use names here, by the way, because that's illegal and it's slanderous. But I am going to say that even though I did get a lot of work and a lot of money, it came at a high price. It came at the price of my self-respect. And the more and more I said yes to this opportunity and to this group, even though there was a time in my life where this particular opportunity was paying my rent months and months in advance, I was becoming more and more resentful and depressed and angry at the world around me. And it really took away a lot of my love for performing, just like the other thing I'm about to talk about here. I got an opportunity in 2009 to take the place of one of my idols named Karen Briggs in a touring show. And I wasn't the star. I was a backing artist. And, you know, the first time I went, we actually went overseas to Lebanon, and it was great. I got to meet a lot of just musically talented people and amazing dancers. But then the more and more I kept saying yes to these opportunities because I wanted the money, the more and more I realized that I wasn't in it for the right reasons. I wasn't in it because I wanted to learn and grow and experience the world. There were times when I was on these tours that I wouldn't even leave the tour bus. Even when I was already starting to get in shape and go jogging, and that's all I would do. I would just isolate myself. I would be too busy missing home because I was on these tours for the money. I was on these tours for the fame, so I could get more social media followers, so my name could get out there. I wasn't doing it so I could be around these people that I really loved and cared about. And now looking back, I have a lot of sadness and regret because I could have made more out of those opportunities. But instead, I went for the money. Maybe a lot of these other people did too. And it didn't work out, ultimately, because I started begrudging things and taking things really personally and taking it upon myself to just be this vitriolic vigilante, not focusing on the task at hand, and instead just focusing on the drama. Slowly but surely, God took away my music career. It became to where I had nothing. I didn't have this job at a desk. I didn't have these tour opportunities. And I had left to tour, thus making it impossible for me to work with my own band, and so they all went their own ways as well. And I had been awful to them. Awful. People always say things like don't have regrets and don't resent anything from your past, but the thing is, the people who say that are the people who, I guess, don't learn from the mistakes they've made. It's important to have regrets because regret is where change and growth and healing begin. When I came back in 2013, I literally had nothing. I didn't have a day job. I didn't have my band. I didn't have tours calling me away. All I had was a few animals in my life. And a roommate that was really, really willing to just kind of like stick it out for a couple of months because he knew that I was going through a really tough transition. And I think I made a decision at some point to make a change that some of the people in my music world thought was kind of beneath me. I started walking dogs and picking up poop because their owners couldn't come home to do it, and giving their dogs exercise. But this is where I became reconnected to who I was at my core, my heart and soul. God took away everything else in my life that was related to excessive amounts of money and fame and contact with the public. And he unplugged me from all of those things so he could plug me into a life of working directly with his creatures. And as I was just talking with my friend Griselle about this, it just hit me. He took me away from the limelight and the public spotlight so he could have me work directly with the animals that have been here longer than us as human beings, to see his soul. It's huge. You know, adopting a pet, cat or dog, it's not like, you're putting them in the wild again. You're bringing them into your world, and that's what I do. I'm helping animals and their owners become more unified as these pets, dogs and cats, are becoming acquainted with the way our world operates. And now, 2 years later, after having started this process, I'm starting to get these musical opportunities again because God is saying, okay, you're ready now. And I am ready. But this is the thing that will not change. I will never stop working with animals. I will continue doing it. Even if it means I go on tour and do a show at some point, or do a concert locally and have some of the animals come on stage so I can show all of you what has reconnected me to my heart and soul. It's okay when opportunities from the past come calling again, because it's a test. It's a test to say, hey, are you going to just try to make yourself comfortable and just go back to who you were? Or are you going to keep pushing forward? That little cat in the background, he came into my life during the beginning of this transition. That's Mochi. Mochi-house! Mochi-house! Same thing with the other little kitty, and same thing with the other little... All these little kitties have come into my life during big transitional periods. So, Mochi-house! Mochi! So yeah, it's huge. It's a big realization. And now that, these opportunities are coming back, like the performance at the Austin Area Jazz Festival, I can't go into it with the same attitude of, I'm going to sell all these records, and I'm going to be famous, I'm going to get all these social media followers. No. I'm just going to go because I love performing. And I love my band, and I miss them, and they've come back to me, and it's just like, wow, this is so cool. And yet, now I have these other opportunities too that just keep me grounded, keep me dirty. And I don't mean dirty in a bad way. I mean, I don't mind getting a little dirt on my hands now. I love you guys. Thanks for reading my blogs. Thanks for watching this one. This one is huge because it's just like, helping me move forward. And I'm not going to say that, I'm not a little hurt by, some of the things that have happened recently to make me make these changes and start saying no. But what you all have to understand is that it's okay to be a no man. Because you have to understand that God doesn't, like I said, God doesn't send you every opportunity to say yes so he can bless you. God sends you opportunities sometimes so you can say no, so then he can really bless you later. And that's what I've been realizing. I got a call just recently about another one of these musical opportunities with this band that I've worked with here in Austin for a long time, and I said no. Because you know what? $200 is not worth stress and frustration and unprofessionalism. I'm not going to say yes to opportunities from my past anymore unless I know that they're going to bless everyone around me, my band included. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful week. May the 4th be with you.